So the E46 is on jack stands again. Don't worry, it's not broken, at least not yet. We're doing another upgrade today. Since the car is a base model, non-sport package car, it's super soft and roly-poly, even with the M3 lowering springs and shocks. So I picked up a larger front sway bar from a ZHP Sport Package 3 Series. I think it's like 4 or 5 millimeters bigger. So we're going to install this and hopefully tighten up the front end. So first step, shut the car up, take the wheels off. So here is the front sway bar in the car. You can see how it's mounted to the front part of the chassis, and then obviously goes to this end link which attaches to the strut. So in order to access the mounting bolts here for the bushing, we need to drop the under tray. So let's do that. So on most BMWs, the under tray is usually held with 8 or 10 millimeter fasteners, but at least for this car, everything I can see is a Phillips head screw. I'm not sure if these are original, if they've been replaced at some point, but looks like we have a lot of Phillips head screws to remove. With the under tray removed, it's pretty simple. Look straight up, look through all the oil coated filth, and you can see the 2 fasteners on each side for the mounting brackets. One there, and then we just need to remove the bar from the end links, that nut there, that nut there. So due to access, it's going to be easier for me to remove the link from the strut rather than from the sway bar side and just drop the whole thing as an assembly. So let's do that. It's going to take 16 millimeter wrench, 16 millimeter socket. Grab the wrench on the back of the end link where there's a little flat spot. Come on. There we go. I just had these off recently, so it shouldn't be like super tight. Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh man, this end link is about shot. I'm guessing the one on the other side is about the same. We'll have to replace these after the drift day. They're not making any noise yet, but they're toast. Look at that. Okay, so that link is undone from the strut. Just so you can see what I'm talking about, I'm saying the link is toast. So it's like a ball jointed end with a rubber boot. Look, the boot's torn away. So there's still a bunch of grease in it. It still has nice articulation, doesn't bind or anything, but that's done. Once that boot tears, it's like an axle boot. Once it tears, it's kind of done. Well, let's do the other side and then get back to it. Sorry for the bad lighting. The camera's in the shade and I'm in the sunlight, but what are you gonna do? It's early morning. So, same process on the driver's side. Hook your wrench on the back side of the end link. All right, and this end link is out too. I'm just gonna put the nut back on the thread just so I don't lose it, because I tend to lose everything. This end link isn't nearly as bad, but you can see again the boot is starting to flex around and kind of let in dirt and contamination. All right, so all that's left is to remove the bracket mounting nuts right here. Let's get to it. Hopefully you can see. Again, I apologize for the lighting is kind of harsh with the sun right there and the car being in the shade. But a lot like an E90 chassis BMW or my 1 Series, it's pretty easy. Here is one of the 2 mounting brackets for the bar. You can see the 2 fasteners right here. Break off the 13 millimeter nut. Actually, I'm probably gonna need an extension. I'm actually gonna leave this one loosely on so when I undo the other side of the bars and just fall and hit me in the face. Jesus! People drive so fucking fast down this alley. Alright. Here's the other side, same thing. Except this one's coated in more oil, which is just great. Alright, so the only thing holding the bar up now is this last fastener. I'm holding the bar up by hand, so I hope it doesn't drop down and just whack me in the face. Wouldn't be the first time.
Ha! Got him!
Alright, so let's slip the bar out. Alright. And gotta mind our end link. And it's out. Alright, so here's our comparison. This is the stock non-sport package bar, and this is a ZHP/sport package bar. This is visibly thicker in terms of its overall diameter, and I'm not sure if it shows up on camera, but there actually does appear to be a minor difference in the ends of the bar. If you look, the bends are slightly different, and this actual end on the sport package bar is a little bit shorter, which in theory should get a bit more leverage, make it work a bit more efficiently. So let's transfer the end links over to the new bar and reinstall. Alright, sorry for the cutaway, the GoPro battery died. I had to go give it a quick charge. But in the meantime, I did reinstall the new ZHP bar. Reassembly is obviously the reverse of removal, which sounds dumb, but it's super easy. You just hold the bar up kind of with your hand, and then tighten down the fasteners until it kind of holds itself up. Then kind of just bolt your end links onto the strut and torque everything down, and that's it. So let me reinstall the splash guard, put wheels back on the car, drop it down, and that'll be that. It's reinstalled. Like I said, it's just these Phillips head screws. There, two up here, and two over here. They're like half turn to lock sort of deals. Pretty simple. All right, let's put the wheels back on the car. All right, and that's a ZHP sport package front sway bar installed. Hello everybody. As you can see, or hopefully at least you can see, it's quite dark out. It is nighttime. Obviously, swapping the sway bar on the E46 only takes about 15 minutes, as you can see in the video. But it takes a lot more time when you decide to go back, like I did, and go back and forth several times between the ZHP bar and the stock bar, as well as the wild card, which is testing the car with no front sway bar at all. Obviously, buying the bigger sway bar, my goal was to reduce body roll and have flatter handling, which the bigger ZHP bar did a great job of doing. The car was noticeably flatter in the corners. The trade-off is, as is the way with a lot of cars, upgrading just the front bar and not the rear bar, because I couldn't find a cheap rear sway bar for sale, like an E46 convertible bar, for example. Upgrading just the front bar did actually increase understeer at the limit, which is why I was going back and forth several times testing out different bar options. The reduced body roll is very nice, but the increase of understeer, the handling limit, was for me a demerit, which is why I went back and forth between several different bar options to kind of see how I liked the car the best. After doing a lot of back and forth and testing, my personal preference and the way I have the car set up right now is with no front sway bar at all. This basically shifts the handling balance from mild understeer to neutral oversteer, which is my personal preference, and as most people would agree, is ideal for drifting. It additionally removes about 15 pounds, give or take, off the front end of the car, which is nice. The obvious demerit is that on the E46, like most BMWs, the sway bar contributes a lot of effective spring rate, which is to say roll stiffness to the car, and having no front sway bar has made the car even softer, which is obviously a demerit. But for me, I would rather have a softly sprung, a soft car with good handling balance versus a stiffer car with, to me, a worse handling balance. So that's the way I've decided to go. No front sway bar at all. I know it sounds counterintuitive. I just showed you a sway bar installed DIY, but that's what ended up working out best for me. Everyone's different, everyone's car is set up differently, so everyone will have different results. But for me, I found the car handles the best, or what I perceive to be the best, with no front sway bar at all. Obviously, with no front bar, I will definitely be looking for stiffer springs in the future, because the car is already too soft as it is, even with the Bilstein front struts, M3 rear shocks, and the M3 spec Eibach lowering springs. The car is nice, but it's still too soft, and with no front bar, I actually just made it a little bit softer. Oops. So, stiffer springs definitely in the future, but as far as the handling balance for now, I do prefer the car having no front sway bar at all. Hopefully this all makes sense. If you have any questions about suspension setup and sway bars and stuff like that, drop a comment down below. I love talking about this stuff. I love nerding out about it. But yeah, so thanks for watching this sway bar DIY, where I show you how to install a sway bar and talk about taking off a sway bar.